Hi there, let's talk about golfer's elbow today. So, golfer's elbow or medial epicondylitis is inflammation in the medial epicondyle of the elbow. So, this bony area right here. So, this bony tip of the elbow, if you trace towards the side, this bony tip here is the medial epicondyle. Why it is important is medial epicondyle is the attachment for the muscles that go into the forearm. So these flexor muscles, they all originate from this one bony tip here, and they go into the forearm and then divide into four ropey tendons, so basically ends of the muscle that go into our fingers. So basically they do this action at the fingers and then this action at the wrist. So when there is an inflammation in the medial epicondyle, it is also known as golfer's elbow, though it's got nothing to do with golf really. Non-golfers can also get this. So let's talk about some exercises, some stretches that you can do for golfer's elbow. Before we move on to the stretches, just a quick word about the stretches itself is, suppose you are stretching a particular muscle, you do not want to have any pain or discomfort in that area. So for example, if I'm stretching, say, my wrist, so I'm stretching the extensors of my wrist, if I go all the way down here to about 90 degrees and I feel there is a pain in my muscle, then I can ease this stretch by about 3 to 5 degrees and then see, is this slightly better? So basically what you don't want is a pain. So when you start stretching a muscle, it goes like stretch, 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 then comes the pain. So you want to stretch in this stretchy zone. You don't want to go into pain. You can border between stretch and pain if tolerable. It really depends on your tolerance limit, but do not go into the pain zone when you're stretching. Alright, another thing is you hold the stretch. So suppose I'm stretching my wrist again, this extensors here. I hold this stretch here for about 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if this is tolerable, then I can move up to 7 seconds, and if it is further tolerable, then up to 10 or 12 seconds. Max you want to hold is about 12 to 15 seconds. That's quite good enough. According to research, it should be about 30 seconds, but then in our busy lives, I think 15 seconds is a good idea to stretch that muscle, because we do have to repeat these stretches around 4 to 5 times in a day. Alright, so moving on to the stretches for the golfer's elbow. So first is that you want your shoulders to be down and back. You don't want your shoulders here, so you want them in neutral, down and back here, and you want your neck to be relaxed. So my neck is not strained or not like this. I'm actually quite relaxed here. So what you're going to do is, the first one is your forearm stretch. So I'll show you from the side. So what you're going to do is, you're going to take your hand like this, so your elbow is extended, and you're going to stretch like this. So basically stretching this muscles here over the forearm, you're going to stretch down like this. Now if this is comfortable, then with your fingers, if you see what I'm doing, I'm actually pushing back. So I'm not here, I'm actually pushing back. So step 1 is extension, or straightening out your straightening out your elbow. Step 2 is bending down at the wrist, and step 3 is this part where you are pushing back in the fingers. So this is like a full stretch for the forearm flexors, right? The muscles that originate on the inner part, on the medial epicondyle. So you're going to hold the stretch according to your tolerance, 5, 7, 12 seconds, whatever you can. And the next one, you can do the same thing against a wall. So I don't have a wall here, but I'll just show you against a notebook. So what you can do is the same thing. You can go against the wall. So basically you're getting that, instead of your hand, you're pushing into the wall. The third one you can do is put your hands here. So if you realize the difference between the first one and this third one is, your elbow here is bent. In the first one you were like this, so your elbow was extended out. So you're going to come at the chest level. So I don't want you here, because you see the moment you do this, your shoulders rise up. So you're here at your chest level, and like a namaste pose, you do this, Once you are comfortable in this position, what you're going to do is, if this is my affected side, my left side is affected, if you look carefully here in this area, I am pushing my left wrist upwards as in this way, using my right hand. You will do this only as comfortable. So your first step is this, your second, and you might even be here. You might not be able to even put your palms together, right? But this is your first step. If you're here, your first step is trying to achieve this. If you're already here, your second step is this. So this is the stretch you're going to hold for, same 5, 7, 12 seconds, whatever you can as per your tolerance level. Okay, so these are your stretches that you're going to do for your golfer's elbow. Alrighty, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to help. Join my Facebook group where we discuss these topics in more details. The link is in the description below.